Hello everyone, it's so nice. It's Friday after work. I came home, had my lunch, grabbed my cup of coffee. Where's my cup of coffee? Oh, I left it there and now I'm tied to my phone. I'll get it and I am diving into knitting. I'm so happy about it. First, I want to show you what I've already done. I'm thinking that I will be able to make it into vlog, filming nearly every day or every day, so you can see how my processes slowly move and get finished. So first of all, the socks. As you remember, I showed you the ankle part that I finished on both socks. So now both socks are finished. The green one needs sewing the toes, and the second one I'm on the decreases. So very little is left, like 15 minutes. As you can see, I made it like this. They have the same stripe on the ankle part, but one toe, it's more than a toe, it's like this, is red. I have enough green yarn. I just wanted to go a bit crazy to make them more playful. So I have lots of red left and quite a lot of green, but it fell on the floor, so I don't want to bend, because in one of the previous videos I was going down and down and down to get things, so it didn't look very nice. And tomorrow we are going to another town and I will have around 3 hours in total for knitting in the car. I won't be driving myself. So I wanted to start a tiny project. I don't want to take my sweater because it's getting quite big. I will show you. So I started a new project from the yarn that I showed you in the last video. It's Rauma Inca. It's 100% superfine alpaca. It's 175 meters. It's very silky and smooth, and it's quite difficult to knit on the needles because stitches just slide effortlessly. So you have to control your tension. And though according to the meters it's the same thickness as my previous shawl that I knitted for myself, for some reasons it's so much thinner. I don't know why. So I'm knitting it exactly the same. And I knitted this bit and it looked so much like this. The stitches are so uneven, though I'm doing my best. So when I knitted this bit, I soaked it with conditioner, hair conditioner, and the yarn bloomed out, and you can see now the halo. So I think it will look nice in the end. So you can see that's where I soaked, and then but what I think is I can't take it to the car because it's not like an easy knit. I have to watch the stitches and to keep the same tension in every stitch. And still my stitches look like drunk dancers. So I have to think of something else. Well, I plan to knit the third pair for my father-in-law. Not the third, the second, but it will be the third for that part of my family. So maybe I'll start this today. And I've started thinking what I want to knit when I finish my ranunculus sweater. Alle ranunculus sweater. I want to knit 3 sweaters, and I'm really struggling because I don't know which one I want to knit. So maybe I will start all 3. On the other hand, it's spring soon, and I'm also starting to think about summer knits, knitting using cotton and crocheting. And I had this sweater with crocheted flies. I really want to do it. So I don't know. Okay, what sweaters I want to knit? The first sweater I want to knit is sea glass tea, but I want it to make with long sleeves. Once I started it maybe a year ago, and I chose one color as the main, and the other colors were just random bits of scrap yarn. But what I didn't like was the color of my main color. It was light gray. And those brighter colors on this light gray didn't look good. There was something I didn't like about it. It looked, there should be a balance between the colors. And with this light and others colors, there was no balance. This gray disappeared. It didn't emphasize the colorful playfulness of bright colors. So I thought, and then I went to Instagram to sea glass tea, like under the sea glass tea hashtag, and I was going through all of them, looking, like trying to find the ones I really like and analyzing them. Why do they look nice for me? And I saw that all the nice sweaters for me are the ones that have darker color as the main color. And now I found very nice dark green, and yesterday I took different balls and put next to this green, and they look gorgeous. The problem is I have many scrap yarn balls. Well, maybe not that many, but still a lot. And now the problem is which one to use, because they look all so nice next to this green. So let's go and have a look at them. This is the yarn I want to use for my sea glass tea. It's quite dark green. And here I have around me the colors I want to use. So here I have the blue balls I can use. And I think they all go nice. Some of them I remember I knitted a sweater for my daughter. This is Filcolana Arvetta. This is from my daughter's sweater when she was maybe 8. This is, I don't know. This might be sock yarn, but I'm not sure. So I'm not using it for socks because I'm not sure. This is from somewhere else. And then I have the red colors. Fuchsia, some salmon, deep proper red, burgundy, Another type of fuchsia, baby pink, like this. So if I mix, I think it will look bright and nice. Then I have 2 yellows. And then I have off-white, I think it's alpaca. And then it's also soft, some beige. And then I have greens. And I think that's a very good color. It goes nice with all the colors that I put next to it. And I tried to make different combinations. And they all look nice. And then I have 3 grays, different shades, and 2 browns. I think this is maybe too dark. This looks so much better together. So you can see all this as for a sweater. Now my problem is how to mix them. I don't want to have so many ends to weave in the end, or just not to weave. I'm thinking maybe I should knit 2 rounds or 3 rounds with each color. Maybe that will make my life a bit easier. Well, I do agree that changing colors every round looks so much better. I guess I have to try, and then I will decide on the go. Another sweater I want to knit is this one. I love how nicely geometrically proportionate and aesthetic it looks. All those vertical lines going down the body make it look much smaller, much thinner. I love the design, and it seems to be quite an old pattern, and I've never seen anyone knitting it, so I would be very happy to knit it. The only problem is that it recommends yarn one that has 120 meters in 50-gram ball. I have 100 meters in 50 grams. The color that I could use, and I don't have charcoal, so maybe I have to buy. But then I want to knit more from my stash because I have so much yarn. So I will go again to my stash and check what I have. Maybe I'll find something I could use. And the third option I want to knit is soldotna top. I've knitted one, and I used alpaca silk. That's this thin, silky and smooth yarn for color work. And having in mind that I'm not a color work person and I need lots of practice, how I did it, I have no idea. I used pastel colors and it turned out really beautiful. The problem is I made it a bit oversized, And at that time also I was a bit bigger myself. So now when I put it on, I feel myself like in the sack, and it looks not oversized, but just the wrong size. And when I look at Soldotna tops, I like the ones with crazy colors. And I have lots of crazy colors, like leftover yarn or just yarns. I think I never use them, but I do have them. And I would like to knit like a short-sleeved version, but it's color work all the way to the bottom. So that's also a bit of a challenge for me. But I can't stop thinking about them right now, so I think their turn has come. I'm in the shop in Pozdrun. This is a huge shop. And all that you see here, this, and on top is only mohair. So let's have a look what they have. They have Filcolana tilia, and it's all wonderful colors. Oh, such beautiful light blue. And they have Untold pure silk mohair 72, super kid mohair 28 silk. This color is nice. And this sandy, I haven't tried that one. Then here they have Viking. So I don't like that company. So this is still Filcolana. And then comes Knitting for Olive. And it costs 12 euros. Lots and lots of all the possible colors. And here on top they have Rauma Plum. And it costs tin mohair. No, I can't find. So and here they have Dada Garn Tin Kitsilk Arla. It's 10 euros. They also have Permin Angel. It's, let's check, 70 mohair, 30 silk. Isayer mohair a bit. And this is Alba. It's, I guess, a little company, a Norwegian company, Solberg. It's also 30 silk. And then, oh, here is Isayer. Isayer, made in Italy, 25 silk. So you can see the colors. Not that many, in fact. Here comes Senna Garn and thin silk mohair. And it costs 10 euros. So they have a lot of different shades. And I could see over there, that's a huge shop, as you can see. They have Isayer alpaca. I can't see the I can see the price over here. It's 13 euros. No, it's Angora, 13 euros. And Isayer, I don't know. So it's 100% alpaca and 50 grams, has 400 meters. I could add this to my scarf if I could find that bright color, but they don't have it. And this is merino wool. Peer Gynt. And let's look at more interesting examples. This is Raumaffin ull, like traditional Norwegian wool. This is Sunday, and this is knitting for Olive. It's 12 euros per ball. Just look at these wonderful different shades. So perfect. This is a bit of hand-dyed yarn. This is Lang degradé, like thick merino wool. Super wash, 100% merino, extra fine. This is a beautiful color. And this is thick merino, thick mohair. It's 17 euros per ball, and it's Lang cashmere lace. 25 grams, 165 meters. Very soft. And these tiny ones, this is compatible cashmere knitting for Olive. It's so thin. It's 25 grams, 187 meters. The colors are nice. Pastel and muted. Yeah, you can buy these labels in every shop. This is Permin. 67 wool, 20 alpaca, 5 silk, 6 acrylic, 2 viscose. Nice different colors. Here you can also have Tvini Isaia. It's 22 euros. And here is 50 alpaca, 50 wool. This is rough and this is smooth and silky. It's 850 euro. Do we have something else here? This is Isayer Spinny, and it's 21 euro. Mustard color. And here we have Ull, 100% Peruvian Highland wool. Nice and soft, and it has this bouncy feeling. Here is Isaiah Jensen garn, 100% new wool. When you touch it, it's not that rough, but it's traditional wool. Here we can see coos. This is the one I showed you last time, and this is your clothing, the company I've never tried, Woolly Light, extra fine merino wool, and it's €9 per ball. Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday morning. I've just watered the flowers and now I'm going to the garden. We have a beautiful spring and sunny weather outside, and my little buddy will be happy to run. But before I go, I want to show you what I did yesterday on Saturday. As I mentioned in my previous episode that I recorded, I had about 3 hours of driving in the car and knitting. So I want to show you what I knitted, and I want to show you my thoughts about the blue Sophie scarf I am knitting for my friend, and my ranuncular sweater. I took socks to knit for my father-in-law yesterday. I had both cuffs and I knitted the ankle part and the heel pocket. So in fact, I knitted 2/3 of the heel, and the pink is already the third part. And I nearly finished the brown part on the second sock. So I knitted like this in the car. Not bad. And yesterday I started knitting the pink one. And now I'm on the second sock. I knit a bit, one color, and then I switched to another sock, so the tension is the same. They look bright, but I think that this color combination, so I will alternate green and pink with this purple, and I think it looks quite masculine, not too girlish. And I will make also loops with this neon yellow. The second thing I want to show you is my trials to knit a beautiful Sophie scarf. Yesterday I bought 2 balls of tin silk mohair from Sanna's Garn. It costs €10 per ball, so I paid €20, and it seems I did it for nothing. I came home and started knitting. You can see that it's here. 1 strand of this and 1 strand of that. I get the fabric too thick. I took needles to 4.5 and I didn't like the look of it. And then again, I looked at this. You can see this part is washed and this is not washed. And you can hardly, well, you can see the stitches, but there's so much halo. I don't know how to show it on the camera. It's not that visible. And I thought if you wash it 2 or 3 times, it will be felted. So I simply cut the yarn and knitted a sample. The yarn recommends needles 2.5 and 3, so I knitted this on 2.5. The stitches are horrible here. And here I knitted a sample. And the bottom part up to here, I knitted on needles 3. And from here, I knitted on 3.5. After knitting, I soaked it in water with conditioner yesterday. And when I came in the morning, I saw that the difference between this and this was very different. It had no halo and no fluffiness. I don't know why. I soaked with conditioner this bit as well, but it looked different. So I decided to wash it properly with wool detergent and conditioner today in the morning. I did it. Now it's nearly dry. And you can see that it looks so much better. And I don't know even which size of needles to use. You know what? I think I will wash third time all this and see what happens. Then I knitted a bit my ranuncular sweater and decided to try it on. And I got a bit upset. See why. I like how it sits here. It's very nice. There are no folds, no tension. But I'm not very happy how it sits on the back. Can you see the folds? Maybe after washing they will disappear, but I'm not so sure. And what I think is is it too wide? It's lots of positive ease. So this is my body. And I like how it sits here, but the back seems to have too much fabric. Though I divide it equally, and this empty back, it looks as if it's empty, has to be fixed. What I think of doing is unravel this 20 something centimeters, and here's the last line of increases. I think I will put with the markers where the front and where the back is, and I will leave the increases here on the front, so it stays the same, but I will not make any increases on the back. It means I will have less fabric here. It will become a tiny bit tighter. And then it means I will also have fewer stitches on the back. And then it will sit properly. See, if I take in a bit of the fabric here, not too much, but the situation changes. Of course, it's not too much work, but I want to wear it and be happy. And if after washing it will stretch out a bit, this will definitely not disappear. I like the width of my sleeves. I think that's okay. I added 8 stitches for the armholes. So now I'm going to work in the garden, and I will show you what I'm going to do, and then I will sit, unravel this, and wash the sample of the scarf. And I want to show you what I bought yesterday. This is the amazing plant that I bought. I love those monsteras. It's called Monstera alba. It's with the variegated leaves. All leaves in all plants that have white are very popular, and I'm in love with them. I have several monsteras, and especially I like when this is like half moon. Half of the leaf is white and half is green. I want to make wigwams for the roots. I make wigwams, I will show you why. Okay, if you have any vine type plants like philodendrons or monsteras, you can make wigwams for the roots. I cut the plastic cup, put some moss in, and see what is happening with the roots. And I attached it to a stick, to 2 sticks in fact. And see how many roots they start producing. This is the black old root. And can you see this is the new root coming out of it, and this is the new root? Yeah, and this I decided to make later. But can you see these 2 tips here and there? These are the new roots. And then when you have enough roots, you can cut out that part and plant it in the pot. And it's already an independent, strong plant. And by doing this, you will get each leaf much bigger than the previous one, because it gets extra moisture, extra nutrients. And this is my second plant. I bought just 1 leaf like this, but I saw that this plant on the photo had many half moon leaves. So you can see 1, 2, this is not fully, and I'm loving it. Can you see how wide these leaves are? They look gorgeous. They look gorgeous. I also put wigwams for them. But what's bothering me is this, it's called necrosis. The plant is slowly dying because it lacks all the nutrients because of the lack of photosynthesis. I also have Hoya variegated that is also producing absolutely white leaves. What else I have white? I have this plant. I don't know the name. There was a name on the pot, but I threw it out. It's beautiful with white, and that type of vine with white. And I also have this one, but instead of white it has yellow. Let's go and do some work in the garden. So my plan for today is to cut the grass under. The branches go so close to the ground that I'm afraid to cut into them if I use a normal trimmer. And when it's done, maybe tomorrow, I have to trim the clouds there. It is a very old plant, and when we moved here 6 years ago, I cut off maybe 4 meters of the branches and left like this. Some of them I cut to to the base, and then I started shaping them. Yeah, and then I have to rake the grass up there on the hill around my magnolia, and these are ericas, and I also have to remove old leaves that got tangled into them. And this part I've already cleaned, and I also have to work a bit around this cluster of trees, because see over there, there's old grass that I have to cut. Let's get started. Hi everyone, it's Thursday and it's time to finish my vlog so I could upload it tomorrow and you could have, I hope, a wonderful Friday evening watching my video and enjoying my knits and enjoying your knits. That's the most important. I was working on 3 projects. So these are the socks for my father-in-law, the shawl for my friend, and the sweater a la ranunculus. So let's start with the socks. I finished them. No, first I had to finish the green socks. Remember, it was very little left. Here I used my heel. I love how smooth and nice it gets. Very nice. And here are the socks I knitted for my father-in-law. I knit all socks on needles number 2, and for men's size I cast on 72 stitches. But for all of these 3 pairs that I knitted, I used 76 stitches. I added 4 stitches more because I was knitting size 46 for very wide feet. This is a different heel and it has a very deep heel, and if you have a very high instep or wide feet, I think that works well. So I cast on 76 stitches on needles number 2, and I don't follow any pattern. Here I was striping 15 rounds and 4 rounds of brown. And every bright color, this green and pink, had this purple in between to separate. The yarn I used is like mix and match. This was from Regia. This was Socks Coupier. This is Opal. And the brown is Milan White Merino Uni. And the pink is Regia as well, that I bought not long ago for my friend's scarf. And this is done. So I've knitted 3 pairs as presents, and for my mother-in-law I will knit a Sophie scarf from beautiful Angora that I have from Fonti. I have 2 balls of some dark beige or brownish color. And now I want to show you the shawl. So you know this, my attempt with the drunk dancing stitches. And then I decided to knit on bigger needles. I showed you the sample. I washed it 3 times to see what happens. Can you see how distorted and deformed the pearl stitches are? The yarn fibers become flat and some of them go a bit further. Can you see? It means this yarn can't be used for garter stitch, only for stockinette. It bloomed too much. I can draw the conclusion that it's good for stockinette and only stockinette, and I think it works well for color work because the fibers would just interlock. So my problem was that I was considering blue color as the only possible color for this shawl. It's because I know how much she loves this bright blue, and it cost so much, so it caused me some problems buying extra mohair, trying out and being unhappy all the time. So I decided to go easier way. I know that proper merino, that is the stretchy one, will be good on it because it has stitch definition, dimension. It doesn't itch. It's good for babies, so it will be a perfect yarn for her because I don't know her sensitivity towards yarn. I guess she's more sensitive than I am. So I went to the shop and showed her possible yarn and asked to choose the color. So this is Klompe Lompe merino wool, and it has 105 meters. This white is not pure white, is not off-white, it's gray white. And there were all three colors there, like together, so you could see the difference. It's very beautiful and elegant and sophisticated gray white. I would love to have a sweater this color. And you know, things worked so well. Here you can see a bit of like messiness because I was knitting on needles, on recommended needles, 3.5, and then it has very nice like bouncy effect and the stitches are so beautiful. But here I got like, if it's too thick, maybe I have to go to needles number 4. So I knit it a bit and soaked it in water. And 3.5 is perfect. So then I unraveled those like 6 rows and knit it on 3.5, but the stitches are not like because the yarn was wiggly. So I'm knitting. I'm nearly halfway through, and this is the ends of the second ball. I don't know how you attach the yarn, but what I try to do, so if I have the one end, I usually take some half a meter or 60 or 80 centimeters, divide the fibers, those tiny threads in two, take the second ball, do the same, divide in two, and put this divided strand of one ball to the divided strand of the second ball, and then I knit a long piece holding strands from different balls together. And when this strand from the first ball ends, then I start knitting using like full normal threads from the second ball. So here I tried to attach it to one side so I could hide the ends in the I-cord, and I knit it all the way till the second I-cord, and you can see that these are separated. So it's 3 and 3 threads make one. I do the same with the sweaters. I try to make this like joint knitting somewhere to the side so it's not that visible, and it's usually not visible at all. So that was it. And now let's go to the most complicated project, my ala ranunculus. Let me put it on so you could see. Okay, here is my ranunculus. It's the marker. As you can see now, it's not too wide. It is wide, but not as much as last time. You can see no folds, nothing here. And you can't see any folds on the back. Finally, I did it. So now I think I will knit like 3 rounds in stockinette, and then I will do the same like a hem and the ribbing, and then only it's my floor creaking, and then the sleeves left. Now I want to show you what I've changed. Let's look at what I've changed. I have changed only the last set of increases. So at first, after finishing the neckline, I increased after 5 stitches. Then I increased again after finishing this motif part after 5 stitches, then after 6 stitches, and I saw that it's not enough, so then I went for 5, increasing after 5 stitches again. And here I had increases after 6 stitches, but here I changed increases after 10 stitches. And when in the first version, when I had too many stitches, I had 264 stitches. And now when I changed and made increases after 10 stitches, I had 248. So, and I made, so you can see the numbers I had before. I had 37 for the sleeves, and now I had 34. Before I had 95 for the both front and back, but now I changed. I gave 82 stitches to the back to make it less wide, and 98 stitches for the front. And for the underarms, I had 8 stitches. So now I added only 4 stitches. And what I've also changed, you could see that I was knitting Asian lifting, so I was knitting back and front straight. And now I decided to not to knit straight and then add the stitches, but add these 4 stitches for the underarm in this Asian lifting. So every time I came here, so first I knitted like maybe 4 rows like this, not adding, and then every time I came I added a stitch. So when I pick up, it will be more like make a circle. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I just knit straight. I think this is nicer because it gives the smooth line. It's not like and then. And that's it. So much I had to tell you about a la ranunculus sweater. I hope you find my process of thinking and the changes I make useful for yourself. Knitting is like cooking. Just mix up and see what you get. And unraveling is a natural process. It's how I do. We are all different. And now I'm going to work on my ranunculus, on my shawl, and my fingers are burning. I want to start new projects, but I will restrict myself, so I will finish this sweater. And remember, I talked about 3 sweaters I want to knit. Now I want to knit 1 more. And I will start recording today, maybe tomorrow, a new vlog, and I want to show you the patterns I've done here, the motifs. These are very simple, and one of you asked to show the rubbing on the acorn sweater. I have to remember how I did it, and I will definitely show you. And you asked about how to make the rounded toes for the socks, so they are not trapezoid shape, and I will include this, so it will be a bit of useful things in the next vlog. Okay, time to say goodbye. Happy weekend and enjoy your knitting. Bye.